Okay, for this part of the notes, you need to have this this page that you're going to fold. You're going to close it to where like the words are on the inside. Didn't line up, but that's okay. So on the front, go ahead and label it function sort. So the back part will be where the glue goes. So whenever it's in your journal, it'll be able to open up just like a little book. So you have this other page. We're going to go through and decide, is it a function or is it not a function? And then you'll cut them out after that and then glue them on the correct side, okay? So, starting at the top of this one. So I have a graph. Whenever y'all see a graph, you need to do what's called the vertical line test. So anywhere on this graph that you draw vertical lines, you want each line to only hit 1 point. So I drew vertical lines for all of these points that were on this graph. Each line does only hit it once, so I know this is a function. So whenever I'm done with this note page, you'll be able to cut this one out and glue it down on the side that says function. This next one here at the top, they have a line on this graph. So if I draw a line on top of that line, well, it has a bunch of different y values. So this is not a function. The graph that has a circle on it, I'm going to do the vertical line test anytime that they're giving me a graph and I'm trying to decide if it's a function or not a function. Whenever I drew this one line, well, it's hitting the circle at this point and this point, so that x value, whatever negative number I'm at back here behind the origin, it has more than one y value because it hit above the origin and below the origin. So this one is not a function. The next one is a mapping. So remember we said if only one arrow leaves this side, the left side, then yes, it's a function. So right here, it's okay, and right here, it's okay. So that 5 only has that one output, and that 10 only has that one output, but right here, that would give me the ordered pair of 0, 2, and 0, 3. So you see how the x number repeated? Label this one as not a function. I have another graph, so I'm going to do the vertical line test again. Anywhere they had a point, you want to draw vertical lines. And then if each vertical line only hit 1 point, that means that that x value does only have one y. So this one is a function, so you can just label it with F. A mapping, so this is the ordered pair of 1, 6, 3, 6, and 5, 6. That is a function. Because on this side, this is the important side, each number only has one arrow leaving it. Okay, whenever I look at my table, I'm only checking the x numbers. So as long as the x number does not repeat, I know it's a function. So I have a -1, a 2, a 5. That table is a function because the x numbers only had one y number that went with it. This graph has a line, but remember you're always going to do the vertical line test. Anywhere on this graph that I draw a vertical line, it will only be hitting the lines that they drew at 1 point. So it is a function. The next graph has a line, so I'm going to do the vertical line test. Anywhere that I draw a vertical line, it is hitting that line that they drew on it, that's a positive slope. It's hitting it at 1 point each time, so that is a function. Whenever you have ordered pairs, the only part that you need to focus on is the first ordered pair, the x-coordinate. As long as it never repeats, it's a function. So I have a -1, a 2, a 3, an 8. It never repeated. That's a function. Okay, right here, I have a graph. So remember on the graph, you're going to do the vertical line test. Right row. This last vertical line had these 2 different points. So those are at different y values. So this x value, which is an x of 1, 2, this x value of 3 had a y of a -1 and a -3. So not a function. The last one on here is a graph. So again, vertical line test. It hits their lines that they drew on the coordinate plane at 2 points. So I know it is not a function. Okay, so now you're going to cut these out just around your boxes and then put it in the correct side of your little function sort book. So that way you'll be done with notes and you'll be ready to do the practice page. Come get it from my desk.